Hello everyone and welcome back. In the introduction section of this course, we discussed how one of the main features of Angular is that it gives us the ability of creating our own custom elements. So let's do that in this lesson. We are going to be creating our very first Angular custom component. The component is going to be a course card similar to this one. You can see here that the course card is visible, and that's because we have added here some HTML in our application component template. Now imagine that our application has several places where we would like to display course cards. So we don't want to repeat this HTML everywhere on the application. Also, the data that we are displaying here in this course card might be dynamic. We might have multiple cards, such as for example a list of courses displayed, and we want to pass to each card the data that we are retrieving from the backend, instead of hard coding everything on the front end. So let's see how a component is going to help us to implement those use cases. In order to create a new component, let's head over here to the command line, stop our server, and what we are about to do here is we are going to use the Angular CLI to scaffold a new component. For that, we are going to run the following command, ng generate component, and then we need to give here a name for a component. So we are going to call this the course-card component. After running this command, we see here that the Angular CLI has generated here a few different files. We have here a TypeScript file for the component, we have here an HTML template, some CSS, and we also have here a test specification. Let's have a look at these files. They are here inside the source folder, inside the app directory, and we have here the new course card folder containing all these files. Let's now have a look at each of these files separately. Let's start with the course card component. So as you can see, this file contains a TypeScript class called course card component. We can see that this corresponds to an Angular component, which represents a custom element because of the presence of the add component decorator. Inside the decorator configuration, we have here a series of properties. The first is the selector property that defines what is the HTML tag that this component belongs to. Going back here to our application component, the selector means that we are going to replace this course card HTML here by a new custom HTML element called course-card. So the name of this custom HTML tag is the same as the selector string that we have here. The next thing that we have here in our component configuration is the template URL, which points to the location in the file system of a template file. If we open it up, we can see that this is essentially empty at the moment, but the idea is that this file is going to contain the HTML that we are going to see on the screen that corresponds here to a course card. So as you can see, that is going to correspond here to this course card HTML that we have here. So let's go ahead and remove it here from the home page, and let's move it here inside the course card HTML. So now we have copied here this static HTML, and notice that we are applying here some styles. We will see later in the course how to make these styles specific only to this component. Right now, what we're going to do is we are going to run our application using this new Angular component that we have created here, with a set of empty styles for the moment. Let's go to the command line and let's run npm start. After a moment, our server is now up and running, so if we now reload the application, we can see that we get the exact same result that we had before. But now we have extracted the HTML that we had here, and we have moved it inside a custom HTML tag course card that we have created ourselves. This means that if we create here 2 or 3 extra HTML tags in our template and we refresh the application, we are going to see that we have here 3 instances of the course card component, as expected. As we can see, using Angular, we managed to create in only a couple of minutes a new HTML element that we can use to build our application. If this application would have multiple screens where we have to show course cards, such as for example an all courses page or a courses in promotion page, we could use this component instead of copying all this HTML everywhere where we need it. But notice that the strings that we have here with the description and also the image are hard-coded. So we want to avoid that. We want to make this content configurable. We want to receive this content here as an input for the component, the same way that for standard HTML tags we have configuration properties, such as for example here the class property, the source property, etc. Let's then see how can we add configuration properties to our custom HTML element.